My topic is talking about creating a culture of growth. What does that mean? How do you know if you got it or don't got it? And what do you do to improve it? I actually started my journey here yesterday. I was in Chicago. A little story that relates to my topic matter. And I'm at the O'Hare Airport in the Delta Lounge with a buddy, Ray Rabidou, who's actually the president and CEO of Glacier Senior Living Community. It's a beautiful, beautiful senior living community right around the corner from here in Ann Arbor. Beautiful community resource. And Ray's there to meet a client, to grow his business. And Ray's the type of leader that goes out and leads through example in terms of growing his business. And we're sitting in the lounge and we're relaxing. It's midday and I'm there just to fly back with them. And we look across the room and who's there? Donald Trump. Can you believe it? I can't. No, Donald Trump. So Ray said, I'm going to go talk to Don. I said, oh my God, that's pretty bold. So Ray gets up, goes over, and he's talking with Don, and he's telling him about his community and what he does for seniors. And the Don's acknowledging him very intensely. And so I appreciate and respect all the work that you and your colleagues do for seniors. Then Ray goes, can I ask you a favor? I go, that's really bold for Ray to ask Donald Trump for a favor. And the Don goes, sure. I'll be more than happy to help you. I really respect what you're doing. What can I do? So I have a client coming in. It would mean so much if you would come and say hello, recognize me, and let me introduce you to my client. Yeah, that would just seal the deal. The Don goes, you know what? Just because of what you do as a professional, yes, I'd be more than happy to do that. Ray comes back over he sits down. He's all excited. He's waiting for his client to come in. The client comes into the room. They meet, and they go to another part of the Delta Lounge. And I see Don get up, and he goes over to Ray, and he taps him on the shoulder and goes, Ray, nice to see you. Ray looks up at Don and says, can't you see I'm in a meeting? Don't interrupt me. We can talk a little later. I get up every morning. I have a passion for helping organizations serve more people and grow. I get up every morning and go to bed every night looking at how I can help them advance their mission and business objectives. Mission, serving more people, excellent service, innovation. The business side, growth is a good thing, and financial stability and profitability. My wish for you is to take away one small thing, just one small thing today that you can take back to your organization to turbocharge your growth initiatives. That would be my wish for our time together. In my book, The 7 Pillars of Growth, there are 7 pillars that are essential for a healthy organization to grow and serve more people. We're going to talk about one of those pillars today because of the time and quickly get to lunch. Is the creating a culture of growth. And that's the glue or the cement, in my opinion, that holds the other pillars together. When an organization hits the wall and stops growing, or even worse, declines, whatever your business may be, a lot of people, it's the environment, it's competition, it's the regulatory environment, it's the economy, it's this, that, and the other thing. While that may be true, I submit to you that it's really those internal factors that affect our ability to grow, those what I call the invisible velvet gloves on the spigot of growth, the processes that aren't working, the lack of technology, the inability to really have management tools in place. That causes those spigots to be turned off to a drip of growth. Or if you have a healthy organization, it'll open them up. We're going to talk about that a little bit more. The first thing you need to do is understand whether you got a good culture of growth or not a good culture of growth. Doing a diagnostic review is key. And you can do that a couple ways, quantitatively and qualitatively. Quantitatively, all of us in our organizations have what we call KPIs, key performance indicators. Those things that we can look at daily that helps really measure the vital signs of your organization in terms of health. One example in my world would be the conversion rate between referral inquiry to admission. A low conversion rate means, wow, maybe the technology isn't as good as it should be. We got some really busted up processes here. There isn't a sense of urgency. Those high conversion rates show me, and I've actually seen this as I work with organizations, there's a sense of urgency. They work in teams. There is passion, etc. So using that conversion rate for me in my world is a quantitative measure of whether I got good or bad culture. Now, all of us rely upon referrals. That's the lifeblood of everybody in this room. So it's important you understand what diagnostic tool can you use to measure your culture. On the quantitative side is, especially in today's society, getting back to the theme of our keynote speaker, social media. You can read Yelp reviews, Google reviews, Yahoo reviews on all of our organizations, anytime, anywhere. That is a key ability to look at, there again, your culture. What are your customers saying about you? A couple examples. There's a little Greek restaurant right across my office in Plymouth, and it's right across my office. That's the reason I like it. Food's not that good. I go in there every morning to have breakfast. I'm sitting there, order my breakfast. I'm the only guy in the restaurant. That's a problem right there. That tells you something. And my food comes up. And I'm looking around for our server. No server. No coffee. Not a good experience. So I literally get up, true story, not like the Don story, true story. I get up and I go get my food and bring it over to my table. The owner, Anton, sees that because he's coming around the corner. He apologizes. And I said, Anton, don't apologize. I whipped open my iPad. Look at these reviews. There were 35 scathing, ugly, embarrassing reviews. And I was uncomfortable as he sort of glanced at them. But back in the 80s, Jim Collins wrote a book, Good to Great. And he really talked about embracing the brutal facts. I hope Anton embraced those brutal facts. On a positive side, a diagnostic tool on the qualitative component is, and this is a review I wrote. I actually went to, it's also an example of one of the best organizations, and you'll appreciate this because most of the folks here are hotel, restaurant management, hospitality. I go to Chicago to give a speech. The company puts me up at the Four Seasons Hotel, Delaware and Oak, great hotel. I go down the night before and I'm having a cigar and scotch. Back then you could smoke a cigar in the hotel. It tells you how long ago it was. And I'm just feeling good, review my notes, etc. I go up to my room, my 6 o'clock wake-up call, coffee service. Wake-up call comes, the coffee service comes. I'm in the bathroom shaving. And I hear, oh my God. And the coffee guy, I thought he hurt himself. I run out and the coffee was cold. And he says, oh, Mr. Kazanowski, I'll get some more coffee. Well, I'm tight on time, don't worry about it. I tipped him. He takes off, he's frustrated. I walk down, I'm going to get my cab. And I walk out and there's a bellman walking towards me with a Starbucks coffee. And he says, Mr. Kazanowski, I understand we messed up your coffee service today. Here's a coffee on the Four Seasons. I'm going, how did he know that? I'll tell you that in a minute. He opens the door, puts me in the cab, $20 out of his pocket, the cab ride's on us. I'm just going around the corner. I'm going, man, I'm impressed. I go to the meeting, I'm talking to these executives, I tell a story. I tell a story 1,000 times since then. They're getting more publicity out of me than they could ever want. I come back, great day, the session went well. I go back down to the lounge, and there's Nick, the bartender, and I'm an old bartender working my way through nursing school many years ago, so we sell little war stories. And Nick's there pouring a scotch and giving me a cigar. I'm going, well, that's pretty presumptuous for him to do that, but he comes on over and says, Kurt, I understand we messed up your coffee service this morning. Please accept this on behalf of the Four Seasons. I'm going, Nick, you don't need to do that. I told him about the cab and the money. I'm going, oh my God. And I'm hooked on Four Seasons. It gets better. 6 months I come back. I'm with a lady friend. We're checking in. The lady goes, hold on for a minute. She disappears. She comes back. I kid you not. I understand the last time you were here, we messed up your coffee service. Please allow us to upgrade you to the 35th floor to a junior suite overlooking Lake Michigan and Michigan Avenue. I couldn't believe it. That visit, I met the general manager of the hotel, Tom. Tom, what's going on? How do they know what's doing? Tell me what's going on here. It was because it was a unique experience. Guys, this is a fantastic experience, you have to admit. And Tom goes, well, he smiles because he's all excited. Well, we have a service recovery program that the coffee guy put in Kazanowski, room number, screwed up his coffee. It goes out to everybody in the organization. You'll use the technology there. And it's up to them to do whatever they think is appropriate to recover. That cabbie went into his pocket, $20, paid for the cab ride, didn't have to write a note to ask for it. He just got permission. He didn't need to get permission to do that. He just did that. Same thing with Nick as the bartender. So that's an example of one, I think, an outstanding culture of growth. As I spoke with Tom, they said after staff meetings, they would sit down there and boast about who could do the best for service recovery. And he actually said they read reviews and they use that as a way to create a strong culture of growth. He actually utilized those words. So in the time we have left, a few minutes, I just want to talk about now what do you do? So you understand on a spectrum. I got good culture of growth or a bad culture of growth. There's somewhere in between. Because we're short on time, I have a blog. It's kurtkazanowski.com. It's my way of giving back. And there's in there everything I'm speaking about. You can go and drill down a little bit more, read a little bit more about some of the specific examples if you like. But the first thing you need to do is understand that it starts at the top. And we all know that. We learned that in school, etc. I read an article in the Wall Street Journal several months ago. There was a survey done of 500 CEOs. 81% of them said that they doubted seriously that their senior management team understood nor embraced their growth strategy. which was amazing, 81%. Because if you have dysfunctionality in your senior management team, that's going to be a ripple effect that's going to come down like a tsunami to your staff. So having a dialogue with your staff is key, or the senior management team, to get congruency and a common mental model. 2, engaging in a change process. And we all know, that the only person that likes to change is a baby in a wet diaper. And that's true. But you need to be able to engage change. So what we do is we do a PDCA cycle approach. Plan, do, check, act. Cross-section of people, get them together, put them at a table, give them an issue, a velvet glove. That may be in effect controlling their growth. And they work on improving, utilizing that technology and the methodology for improvement. Third one, and I'll be ending here, is engagement. And having engagement is key. Well, the PDA cycle is an example of that work group sitting down and being engaged. The senior management team, they need to get engaged and get their act together to make sure everybody's on the same page. And, and I'm sure I see some smirks around the room. I've been at senior management tables where that's happened. So when I read that article, that really hit home for me. Another example of engagement would be you want to have people in places to sit down and help communicate back what's going on. Are we making progress, et cetera, et cetera? Because I will learn one thing, that if you don't give employees information, you know what? They make it up, which is even more dysfunctional relative to growth. Another example of the engagement would be writing a compelling opportunity statement of why we're doing this and what's in it for everybody, including the employees. So in summary, hey, understand, do a little diagnostic on your organization. Where are you with creating a culture of growth? What do you have in place now? Current reality, Jim Collins stuff. 2 is look at a change process. 3 is, guys, those invisible velvet gloves on the spigot of growth are working in every one of our organizations as we sit here today. And the more you can understand and deal with that, the better. So with that, we're going to hit lunch. I hope everybody can go out and serve more people and grow. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it very much.